everybody, welcome back to the Harmonica Barge. I want to make a video following on from my Bluegrass video, which I gave you a basic accompaniment to bluegrass music, playing some rhythm harmonica. If you haven't seen that, check it out, it's here in my videos. There I talk about a bit the style of bluegrass, what makes bluegrass bluegrass. Go and watch that. We're talking about acoustic musicians playing together in a tight group, almost like a show. So this was kind of like old-time folk music for the stage. Started in the 1940s, might be late 1930s. Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys, check all that out. So in terms of harmonica, I've already talked about playing like a basic how to blag a session with some rhythm. Of course, you don't want to be doing that all the time. So let's talk about tonality in bluegrass. Now, a lot of stuff's going to be in the key of G, a lot of stuff's going to be in the key of A, a lot of stuff's going to be in the key of D. Bluegrass could be any keys though. Bluegrass musicians are quite flexible with the keys they play in, but today I'm going to use the C harmonica. And what separates bluegrass from blues, or the way as a harmonica player you might approach it, of course a lot of blues players playing stuff from the blues scale, all their blues vocabulary, a lot of that's going to sound too bluesy for bluegrass, even though the name bluegrass is, you know, the name blue is there in the title. That actually refers to the way the grass looks in Kentucky in the sunshine, I believe. The grass waving in the sunshine appears blue at a certain time of year. That's where the name came from. Someone might correct me on that. So for the harmonica, the main historical precedent, you would say, for bluegrass music is playing out a second position, even though a lot of the music has more of a major tonality. So if you're playing in second position and you want a major sound, it's very important to be able to play this scale. I'm coming from a slightly technical, theoretical standpoint, but that's okay. First of all, I just want to set this up. I've also heard this amongst harmonica players called the country scale. Okay, and am I using the 2 draw there? Key of G, C harmonica, 2 draw. Now you've got the 3 draw bent to full step, which, as they say here, is a bit of a swine. We've got the 3 draw bent to full step, so we're starting on the 2 draw. 3 draw bent to full step, we'll talk about that in more detail in a moment. 3 draw on its own, 4 draw, 5 blow, not the 5 draw, 6 blow. That's the whole thing. I'm going to play that slowly for you. And again. Great way to remember this scale, this country scale. The proper name is the major pentatonic scale. It's basically notes out the major scale with some missed out. Okay, so that's okay. It's the water tank filling here. Nearly done. So another great way to remember this scale is it's the theme tune to the R&B song My Girl. Ba 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 ba. You know, that repetitive intro. So that's a good way to remember that scale, give it a musical application. So that, using that scale as a bit of a standpoint, I think is very good to start everything off. Now, especially if you're someone who's used to more bluesy playing, I would recommend playing around that and really not trying to play any bluesy notes. Even though bluegrass does use bluesy notes, I would avoid all of your kind of standard bluesy repertoire, the 5 draw. I'd avoid that, the 2 draw, bent to full step, you know, which is an F on a C harmonica. Trying to avoid that, the 3 draw, bent to half step. Trying to avoid the 3 draw bent and half step. So trying to get out of your bluesy way of thinking just for the moment. We'll go back there later, don't worry. So the reason for this is that lots of the melodies that you hear in bluegrass, and melody is very important to the bluegrass style, coming from a melodic way of thinking is super important, as in any style, but particularly in bluegrass and country, which are kind of similar in many ways tonally. Okay, so a lot of melodies, just for an example. Song called 9-Pound Hammer, talked about that in my other video. Will the Circle Be Unbroken? All coming from this more major tonality. Now you might ask, if you're playing in the key of G, why don't you just play that out of first position on a G harmonica? Let's think about that for a moment. You could do that, nothing wrong with that, but what it's not going to give you playing on a G harmonica, the kind of bend effects that you can get when you play on a C harmonica. Okay, and those bend effects we use in improvisation a lot, and improvisation is super important in the bluegrass style. So you could do it on a G harmonica, and in fact this is a great way to illustrate positions, that it's just different. It gives you a different tonality. There's things you could do on a G. You know, you could do blow bends or whatever. You get a different kind of sound. But there's much more of a historical precedent in bluegrass. If you look at sort of players like Charlie McCoy, Mike Stevens, many bluegrass players play out of second position a lot more, and the same in country as well. And that's because of these the expression you can get on the 3-draw in particular. That's very important. So, and for improvisation, and that allows you to then drift into a bluesy style if you want and go between the two. But getting back from the blues, what we want is to really work on this scale, okay? Now finding that 3-draw bend, a full step, is going to be tough. I think every harmonica player has challenges with that. A few techniques I would recommend, as well as doing it in the scale or using the melody, the My Girl melody, ba 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 ba. Also have some tunes, have some melodies that use that interval, okay? That 3-draw bent, a full step. Here's a few. So 3 Blind Mice. Ma, ma, ma. 3-draw bent, a full step, 2-draw. Another good one is C.C. Rider, the blues song. C.C. Rider. 3-draw bent, a full step, 2-draw, 1-draw. Now the good thing about putting that in the melody is you're learning a fragment of a melody, which is good, going by ear for improvisation. And you can also sort of tell by ear if it's in tune or not. Okay, so you're trying to really get that 3-draw down a full tone. At this point, a tuner could be handy. If you're the more methodical practicer, you could put on a chromatic tuner and you'd be looking for a B when you play the 3-draw, taking it down to an A. One of the ultimate tunes, I think, is try playing O Susanna out of second position. So starting on 2-draw. uses a lot of that 3-draw bent to full step. So a real good way to work that, you know. Anything to really work that 3-draw bend to full step, which you cannot avoid if you want to sound like a lot of the classic sort of bluegrass harmonica, Charlie McCoy and other people. You could use a Paddy Richter tuned harmonica, which would give you that interval, but that would give you a different sound. But starting really slow, trying to work the scale. That's going to give you a good start. Okay, thanks very much. Been here at the Harmonica Barge. If you like the video, subscribe, leave some comments, leave some feedback, and I'll be back with another bluegrass video soon. Thank you.